Hey everyone, it's John here from Hockey, back with another video, and this video is on the Vancouver Canucks. I want to keep talking about the Canucks a little bit here, and I've seen it from insiders, analysts. I'm going to cite Dollywall a couple times here. The Canucks looking for a potential trade coming up, and I'm going to talk about different players here, a couple in the forward group, and I want to start with the Nils Hoglander conversation. Hoglander, early 20s still, a guy that a lot of Canucks fans were so excited about. A guy that they thought he was going to be a big part of their top six going forward. And Hoglander is kind of falling out of favor with Bruce Boudreau, and we could see a trade. I do want to throw out a few teams and talk about the other potential guys that could be on their way out, whether I've talked about Tanner Pearson on the other video, I've talked about Tyler Myers, I've talked about Jason Dickinson. Will we see the big JT Miller trade? I think there's a lot of trades still over the next year we can see with the Vancouver Canucks. I said primarily you need to try to trade that Tyler Myers $6 million cap hit. I just think that creates a lot of flexibility. And then honestly, if you have as much forward depth as you have with a guy like even Tanner Pearson and Dickinson on your fourth line, like that is a really good fourth line. That is one of the best fourth lines in hockey if you have a situation like that. Yeah, the cap hits don't match with a fourth line player usually, but it could work. Hoglander's an interesting one because he's the type of player you don't want on your fourth line. He's the type of player you want in your top 9 and potentially even in the top 6 if he's successful. But last year in the sample size, we just didn't see that, and Boudreau was a lot to do with that when he came in. He was kind of picking other guys over him. So the Hoglander rumors have popped up with certain insiders, certain analysts talking about him. And one team that's popped up in connection with the Canucks, with JT Miller and with Hoglander, is the New Jersey Devils. So there's been a kind of speculation with a guy like Damon Severson with the Devils. I've also seen some rumors with Jesper Boquist. So Boquist, also a guy that was drafted in the second round, early 20s. I'm not saying he's going to be a target necessarily for the Canucks, but what I will say is that Damon Severson, $4.6 million, 1 year left. If it was a situation where the Canucks were able to toss in a Tucker Poolman or a Tyler Myers in this trade, and have Hoglander involved and take a chance with the Boquist, I'm not necessarily making that a proposal, but I'm just saying that maybe the Canucks and Devils have what each other, like what they want, each team's needs, I guess I should say. Kevin Ball is also with the Devils organization. He's like, 6'6"? He's like a monster, 6'7". He's a beast, and he's from BC, so I'll also throw that out there. I do also want to talk about Michael DiPietro. Still young, I think he's 23 years old, goaltender. I think a lot of Canucks fans have been disappointed on how DiPietro has been handled and how certain things have gone about with DiPietro, just thinking, okay, you know what, Demko was always going to be the number 1, but DiPietro, that number 2 option long term. And Spencer Martin has kind of been that guy that has stepped up for the Canucks as the number 2 option. And will Mikey DiPietro get traded? I think that's the conversation as well. So Canucks guys in conversations for potential trades. Would DiPietro get moved? Would Hoglander get moved? I think a lot of Canucks fans still don't want to see Hoglander get traded. I think they obviously want to see guys like Tanner Pearson and Myers moved out, and that would create an insane amount of cap flexibility, and then you would be able to sign a JT Miller long-term regardless. I still think a JT Miller trade, I still think there's some potential there. I will say that the Canucks do need to make a move before the start of the season. I just don't think, they're just so crowded up front. And we'll see what happens with Tucker Poolman's health, but I would even say with Poolman, that was a bad contract to begin with. I was so disappointed in the Canucks signing that Tucker Poolman contract. Even Jets fans were just laughing. It was honestly so pointless. It was such a pointless signing. Especially it looks even worse now with how well Luke Schenn's played. So I think with Hoglander, just to throw out another few teams, I've seen the Kings thrown out there. I've seen the Jets thrown out there. I think the Jets, by the way, would be a great fit. I think the Jets definitely have a hole or a couple holes on their wing. And, I mean, the Canucks could target even like a younger defenseman like a Heinola at the Jets. The Wild have been thrown in there. There's been a few teams that have been thrown in the Hoglander conversations. And I know even as recently as last deadline, a lot of teams were checking in on Hoglander. So that's a situation to keep an eye on. Would Hoglander get traded to the Devils? I think that's... I'm waiting for that Devils Canucks trade, whether it's a JT Miller, Hoglander. I have a feeling the Canucks and Devils might make a move here coming up. So keep that in mind, guys. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like, hit the notification bell, and we'll see if the Canucks make a trade coming soon.